I've centralized all my database access through a repository class that handles all the data access to and from the database. The Windows forms access this class through the iRepository interface. And this is useful in two ways. It means that I could implement the interface in any way I like without affecting the information that the forms would get, as the interface forms a contract outlining what the repository class must present to it. And so I could make the repository class that implements the iRepository interface. I could use SQL or link to SQL or another type of ORM. It doesn't really matter how I implement my repository class, as long as it provides or fulfills these functions that are outlined in the interface. And that means that I can always change it without worrying about affecting the forms that receive this information. It also allows unit tests to mock the iRepository, making testing easier, but that's another subject. Right, so if we look at the repository, the repository is it's laid out logically into several sections, which are these are my domain objects anyway, and this is just a logically separated out report region as well. Each region has several common functions between them, such as that one's got a get driver, a find driver, and a save driver there. So it's always got a save and a get all, and so is the taxi, and if you look at the account as well, they've all got this same method, and the method is basically doing the same thing, which is just trying to get them all. So what I've done is I've created a generic method called getAll that this getTaxis uses. If we look at the driver, the getDriver uses getAll as well. So if you look at this method up here, this getAll method returns an iList of a generic entity, which you'll pass it when you're calling it, where that t entity equals a class. So basically I can share that same method across several different methods, but return the type that I want by passing it in when I call the method, and that's what generics are about, really. And it's an extremely useful tool. The functions all return, well, where they're returning a list, they all return an iList, as opposed to something like an array list, which maybe in older .NETs would have been used. An iList is a lot better, as it's like a strongly typed. It's a specific list of a specific type, as opposed to an array list, which would have been an object type. And you get around problems such as boxing and unboxing when you're calling them. You don't have to cast to the specific type you want anymore. It just goes straight in as a driver type, which is far superior.